Today, my hair wants to be Rihanna. Hello! My name is Geoffrey, and today I was tagged by David Reed's Words to do the coffee book tag. This tag was created by my friend Bangity Bangs, and even though I don't drink coffee, let's go. Number 1, black. Name a series that is hard to get into but has a hardcore fan base. Following suit with Bangity and a whole bunch of other people, The Lord of the Rings and everything Tolkien. These books are very difficult to get through, very thick. I mean, not so much The Hobbit, but the Lord of the Rings and the Silmarillion especially. I read about half of this and then I'm just like, oh, it's just so much. And Lord of the Rings, I'm only at the Council of Elrond, and then I just kept falling asleep, so I had to stop. I'll finish it one day. Even though I haven't finished them all, I'm still like, I would still consider myself a hardcore fan because I know like a lot about it because I read half of this book. And this book like 3 or 4 times. Number 2, Peppermint Mocha. Name a book that gets more popular during the winter time. I also have to jump on the bandwagon here and say Harry Potter. There's no other book that makes me think of winter or Christmas more so than Harry Potter. When the snow starts falling, I just instantly want to watch all the movies again. I think that's it really. It's just like, oh, it's Christmas. Like I want to, get back into the spirit of things like when I was younger, and rewatching the first few Harry Potters. Like, there's nothing that makes me feel more like a little kid again than watching those movies. Just so innocent and magical, you know. Number 3, hot chocolate. What is your favorite children's book? So my favorite children's book is The Hobbit. Everybody knows this at this point. I have 2 copies. And this one, I do all kinds of highlighting in so I can read it to my nieces and nephews. You can cut out all the boring parts, because there's a little, it was written in the 40s, 37, Jesus. The language is a little thick sometimes, so for kids these days, they need it abbreviated. Similar to Harry Potter, it's such an adventure, It just seems so whimsical and magical because it has that old language. It feels like there is weight to it, there is actual magic in it, more so than like a children's book would. And that's why people gravitate towards Harry Potter also, because J.K. Rowling has such a magical voice when she writes. So many writers try to imitate her and Tolkien, and they just fail because there's just something magical about it. I don't know. Double shot of espresso. What book kept you on the edge of your seat from start to finish? So this book isn't really an action book, but it was the fastest I ever read a book for. I read it in 2 days, and it's The Catcher in the Rye. I wanted to see what the fuss was about, so I read the first paragraph, and then I had to read the second paragraph, and then I had to read the first page, and I had to read the second page, and then it just kept going, because again, there's a theme of voice here. Holden Caulfield's voice is so magnetic, and you're so buddy, and it's like he's sitting right there with you, and he just wants to tell you this story, just this charismatic tale of his adventure in New York. And it's not like the most heart-pumping, like action-packed thing. It's kind of, I akin it to The Hobbit, a modern day, this is kind of silly, but a modern day Hobbit, like where you're on this adventure, you start in one place, you have a goal to get some other place, and it's just this adventure along the way where you don't know what you're going to encounter, all these different people you're going to meet, and you just go where life takes you, kind of. And I love books like that. So that adventure paired with an amazing narrator, it was just magic. Starbucks. Name a book you see everywhere. And for this one, I'm choosing Throne of Glass. I saw it everywhere. I hear nothing but good things, so now I have it. And I started it last night, and it's keeping me interested so far. 2 chapters in. I see the appeal. Hipster coffee shop. Give a book by an indie author a shout out. So, local author M.G. Berlin. I read a little bit of this book. It's okay. 57 Lives of Alex Wayfair. It has to do with different lives and I guess reincarnation and I don't know, I don't really like it. Holler! Oops, I accidentally got decaf. Name a book you were expecting more from. Not only is it terrible, that's 450 pages of terrible. That's like 2 books. Is anyone still on board with this, even though everyone knows the second book is even worse? Ugh. Number 8, The Perfect Blend. Name a book or series that was bittersweet, but ultimately satisfying. I don't really have an answer for this one. I just haven't read enough books or series to have like a bittersweet, but ultimately satisfying feeling from them. I either love them or I hate them. But I have the perfect video game counterpart. For that I am saying the Souls games, Dark Souls and Demon Souls. I don't know where Demon Souls is, but these 3 games are the most difficult games you'll ever play in your life. And they make it that hard on purpose. You only get basically 2 lives to get through a whole level. And that makes it so difficult, so much pressure. It doesn't like auto-save every 30 seconds like most games nowadays. While you're killing things, you're collecting these souls, right? And this is like the currency in the game. This is how you buy better armor and how you level up and stuff like that. And if you die, your souls fall into a pile on the ground. And you get respawned way back at the bonfire, and you have to fight your way back. Because all the enemies reappear, you have to fight your way back to get those souls. And if you die on the way to those souls, which is very likely, they'll be gone forever. So it's frustrating, and there's actual stakes. And once you get all the way to the end of this level, there's always this really incredibly difficult boss that will kill you the first time, inevitably, so you'll have to die, and then you have to fight your way back through all these guys again, and there's just like so much dying. That's their slogan actually, is prepare to die, as you will die a lot. Anyway, that's the bitter part. The sweet part is when you actually eventually do beat the bosses, and it's just such a relief. You feel so accomplished because you did something. You accomplished this incredibly difficult feat. And this also ties back into the first question. It's a very hard game to get into, but the fan base is crazy about it. So yeah, that's my tag. I don't really know who to tag. I feel like I've tagged all my friends already to do something else. So if I think of anyone, I'll write you down. It'll be, but I'll tag you in text, blah, words and things. I'll write it down below. Okay, bye. Come in, me. Is that sexual? Probably.